these are like Plat 3 players into Plat 3 and above players. So yeah, this is pretty equal in terms of rating. Nice. This is a good one. How is structured PvP these days? Connie Mirage still a thing? Yes, Connie Mirage is still a thing. It's quite funny that you asked that because recently I've been experiencing a ton of community hatred because everybody fucking hates my rant on Mirage, which is pretty hilarious actually. Okay, let's take note of the time. I am watching Izuki, dude. All right, so let's start this shit. We have Staff, Sword, Rotational, +1, Revenant on Bay Eevee. On Equa, we have a Firebrand support using Signet of Mercy. This is in pairing to Joby. Joby probably using Deadshot with Rune of Balthazar. There we go. Scepter, Torch, Staff. So that's a ton of condition damage. I didn't confirm that he is actually on Curse of Sorry Ping. He is. That's a ton of team fight damage that will be sustained by Equa. Keto is playing, this looks like Elixir Holo on Alchemy and Tools. Does have Static Discharge. Long Fuse Powder Pack doesn't have the reveal. And he's actually gone for Adrenal Implant as well for sustainability. Doesn't really care about the quickness uptime. And then finally we have Izuki, who is dying to a 3v1, holy shit, straight away on his close node. So straight away, you're going to see that blue team will take the map lead here. That's with Strength Discipline. This is on the Trammel War. That's with Sword, Shield, and Greatsword. Baxter is using Sage Amulet. This is a Mirage, so this is with the Sustain build, Chaos, Dueling. Looking to have the 1v1s or maybe even 1vx in some regards. Best Ranger ever, aka Stronlo, playing Druid. This is usually on Demolishers. If he's actually gone for Avatar for sustainability, he plays Demolishers in solo queue. So this is with Longbow and Sword Warhorn. That obviously grants a ton of range damage, but with the sustain of the dual wield. Chocolate is playing Sword Dagger Thief. So this is core. On Acrobatics, Standard. Okay. Was he running Lesser Haste? Yeah, so he has Lesser Haste for actual burst damage as soon as he engages on a target. That's going to be pretty good for his +1 rotation. And he's on SD with Marauders and Rune of Speed, so he's got that extra movement speed as well. Badaka is on Revenant, so this is Sword, Staff, of course. I mean, if it's anything else, I'd be surprised. There we go, Marauders, Rune of Leadership. And Loop Quantum is on what looks like Axe, Sword, Warhorn, Soul Beast. So this is the most sustainable duelist in the game at the moment, with Paladins and Rune of Leadership on Wilderness Survival, Nature Magic, and Soul Beast. So the red team, I would say, they have good damage on Bay Eevee, but they don't actually have that much because they're kind of reliant on maybe the Holosmith being a rotational +1, but he's not using Rocket Boost. He's going to be a little bit slower than what he could be. Izuki, obviously being the duelist in this game, Keto can fulfill that role as well. And then they have the team fight damage on the Firebrand and the Scourge, which I would expect to be probably hanging around mid, looking after this node. The blue team are actually in the benefit right now in terms of like how the meta progresses because they do have the Thief that can rotate alongside the Revenant. The Revenant does the high burst damage. The Thief brings the utility. The Thief brings the steal, brings the obnoxious dodge rolls, and obviously the 4-second evade on Dagger Storm whilst trying to defend bodies in downstate. So again, you can see that Chocolate is currently doing that over Joby to ensure that his teammate can secure the stomp and avoid all the attacks that's going on around. This game will probably go into the hands of the blue team just based on their comp. That's my opinion. They do have, two duelists. They have the best ranger ever, aka Stronlo, on one node. They have the Soul Beast on another, and then they have Baxter that can operate as a 1v1 class as well, which is currently contesting in the mid node. So they have 3-node contest. They have double rotational damage, so they can out-rotate what the red team can bring. And especially if you had Keto on a side node and Izuki on a side node, they can be shut down pretty easily by the Revenant and the Thief. And that's what we're seeing happening right now across the board. Blue team have more kills than the red team. They have, obviously, the upward curve. And, I mean, they're not necessarily winning based on node ownership or node contest. The nodes have been neutral for quite a while. We can see that Izuki and Stronlo are currently 1v1ing over the bell, because, obviously, the team that captures this does get +25. Blue team are currently contesting in the mode in the mid node on a massive team fight. Joby has gone down. Cannot be sustained unless Badaka does get this stomp. They actually do get the res there on Joby. They combine their efforts to get the res, so now that's reset that red team fight on the mids. That's 3v3. Izuki being forced to disengage because of the +1 there by Chocolate. So again, having 2 rotational +1s has enabled the blue team to have an advantage once more. So again, they're able to meet that sort of numbers engage in the mid. They have that 3v3 taking place. They have one player here on the bell that gets captured by Stronlo. And, of course, they had Chocolate that was overcommitting into Izuki. Now, Chocolate is getting turned onto by Izuki. He's just forced out his passive there. And he should disengage now that the Soul Beast is here to answer that. You can see the Holo Smith has come in, gets the straight away Elixir U with the knockback on the Rifle 4 and punishes Chocolate out. So now potentially they could swap places. Izuki could disengage. If Izuki does get stomped here immediately, Chocolate will rally. And Kido is not even seemingly going for the fucking... Okay, so Kido just... Yeah, frozen, dude. You... Okay, so the Thief just basically rallied because he TP'd away and didn't get finished. Didn't necessarily need a stomp, just needed some cleave. And unfortunately, that has just thrown it once more for the red team. That would have been a really good opportunity for the red team to have the numbers advantage. Kitsu now switched, and he is the one in down state. That's really, really fucking shitty, actually. And Izuki now coming back out on respawn has gone straight to his close node. We see that the contest is still happening in mid. Stronlo was here in the 1v1 against Stroby, whilst 2 of his other teammates, so the Thief and the Revenant, were punishing the Firebrand. The red team Revenant is now here to answer that as well. It's a 3v3. There's a lot of burst on the side of the blue team. Actually, that's a 4-man. That's 4 men in mid now. So actually, this will give them an opportunity to hard pressure. If they go for the Firebrand first or the Scourge first, doesn't really matter. They got to watch the Signet Mercy there being channeled. Gets interrupted immediately by Chocolate. Can I confirm? No, actually, he didn't use Steel. So he didn't get the days off. It was just the fact that they were able to kill him before we finished casting. So Joby obviously bled straight out. Firebrand killed straight away. And there was a 1v1 taking place between the blue team Mirage and the red team Warrior. This will remain neutral for the time being. Izuki forced to disengage. He knows he can't win that, but Baxter's still giving chase. Baxter would have been smarter probably to just take the node. I suppose he doesn't want the 1v1 to take place here in mid. Never mind, they give it up. So that's the second bell capture for the blue team. They get the plus 50 points. Baxter once again looking to contest this, hold this neutral against Equa. Equa would be stupid to stay here. He's never going to contest that. He's never going to out-CC him. This would take such a long time for Equa to actually turn this into something beneficial. He'd be better off rotating back and waiting for Joby to respawn in about 7 seconds and then meet him out there and rotate mid with him. Blue team looking like they're going to take this game without any issues whatsoever. That is ridiculous, by the way. 4.25 seconds of 8 frame whilst doing up to like 8,000 damage. That's one thing I really don't like. I think that this could do something else. I'm not sure I like the 4 seconds of it. Even if they made it so that it did more damage in the evade frame. So like maybe they made it so it was only like 2 seconds perhaps, but it did just the same amount of damage. I think 4 seconds of evade is just a bit too much on one button. Okay, so we'll wait this one out. I'll finish this game up and then we'll get into the next one, guys. So Kido once again getting pressured away by the Soul Beast. Node owned by Stronlo. Badaka the Revenant. Badaka has died quite a fair amount this game. I'm just saying. That's my observation. But that said, blue team way ahead. Red team looking like they picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills this entire game. Blue looking like they've actually picked up like 3 times as much as that. Oh yeah, I mean, if you get the Dagger Storm reset, then you know exactly you're getting double. 100%. Give it stab and take the evade away. Yeah, I mean, either way, right? You could end up removing the stab just by, you know, stacking CC on it. But then again, I mean, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Okay, so that was the first game, guys. This is a good game simply because everybody here is like basically legendary. These guys have played as a team before, I believe, in previous matches. You do have Jailer, you got Crazy Dexa, even though he's a cunt, he's still good at the game. Shah, you should be okay. Larry P, obviously good, great Holo, and Gormless is a good druid as well. So this could possibly go well. Okay, This game is starting right now. So, Jailer is on what looks like Tremor War. So this is on Demolisher's Greatsword. Oh, he's running Dagger, though, so he doesn't have the sword for the leap. But otherwise, I think this is actually the new meta to run Dagger. You don't run sword anymore so much. So yeah, looking to push far, going to get the immediate advantage for his team by being at a numbers disadvantage himself. Xiaoyu is playing Rifle Deadeye with Mercy and Binding Shadow. Yep, so he does have a lot of actual dual ability as well as a 1v1 class, but great +1 potential. Get Wet and Let Met. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it's Elixir X Holo. However, he is using Prime Light Beam. Does have Rune of the Scholar for actual higher damage output. Larry P also playing Holo Smith on the Sword Shield build, so this is more of a duelist build. Holy shit. More donuts. Thank you very much, dude.
Can you get them not lose first round?
And then finally we have Gormless Hero, who is running Longbow and Staff. So he has sustainability on Staff, and he also has good range damage on the Longbow. This is again using Menders and Rune of the Traveler. So this will be as a bunker. So they do actually have a lot of node sustain in this team. They have the Spellbreaker that can do that. They have the 2 Holo Smiths that can obviously node sustain, and they have the Druid that can node sustain. The only rotational +1 that they have is the Thief. Now, if the Thief gets shut down, then the red team will struggle pretty fucking hard, I think. Flandry is playing Axe, Sword, Warhorn, Soul Beast as a duelist, looking for the 1vx. Skiki is playing the rotational +1 as a Revenant, so this is Sword, Staff. Tons of burst damage, as you can currently see. Primal Downstate playing Sword, Dagger, Core Thief. So again, the rotational +1. I love this alive game is Synod playing Scourge. This is on Deadshot with Rune of Balthazar, Staff, Scepter Torch on Curse of Sorryping, and then finally sustained by Chunzu on the Firebrand. So this Firebrand does have the Signet of Mercy. The blue team obviously do have the better meta comp. They have the sort of equal node sustain and team fight, you know, with the rotational damage as well, because obviously they have the Revenant and the Thief. They have the node sustain on the Firebrand and the Scourge, and then they have a duelist on Flandry who can obviously create numbers disadvantages for the red team. So based on previous wins, so this team has actually won the MAT before. Flandry's team has won the MAT. Red team obviously have not, and blue team have higher damage output across the board. Red team obviously being more duelist based. Now, this is actually a really beneficial map for the red team overall, simply because the red team have a lot of duelists. They can spread themselves across all these different places. If you can imagine that Stillness is going to count as an objective, Tranquility is going to count as an objective, and then you have Altar, you have Gate, and you have the Temple. So you have like literally 5 different objectives with 4 duelists, whereas the blue team, they only have 3 potential node sustains, or actually 2. The Firebrand and the Scourge count as 1 together, and the Soul Beast is going to count as 1 by itself. So this game is all about whether or not the blue team can actually create momentum from their damage, and if they can create the numbers advantage throughout, then they'll win. If the red team can not die easily to the Revenant and the Thief, then the red team will win. So it's all about like how these players play defensively and how they kite. If they are able to beat, especially in these instances where Jailer looks like he's going to win that 1v1 with that pressure on Flandry, this will most definitely benefit the red team. You can see the Holosmith has just died here, so this is now a 5v4. Red team do have double node picked up. There's actual Stillness being contested here. This was almost picked up by Xiaoyu, but that was interrupted by Primal Downstate. So that's good awareness there of both Thieves. Both looking for that objective. Obviously, this is a huge potential play. Holy shit! Xiaoyu lands the Binding Shadow onto Maverick, and you can see he just very, very quickly dispatches him. And Sakiki is possibly next in this firing line, immediately using the Infused Light. Xiaoyu disengages. That's really smart as well. This straight disengage into the Infused Light. And now he's looking to finish him off. He's got Larry P looking to CC him out as well. And red team do pick up the Stillness because of that overinvestment and that pickup on Maverick. So now the red team are looking to gain further lead here. This is pretty fucking pog, but that was some fucking sick-ass damage coming out of Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu is on Marauders, right? He's on Marauders, and he's like hitting people for like 11,000 damage with Death's Judgment. I think that might be a little bit too high. Maybe a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. So obviously, first objective going to the red team. Dude, Chunzu will get picked off pretty harsh here as well. Xiaoyu, that's not the right thing to do there, my dude. He literally walks into the team fight. This is not how you play the Deadite. He's just, okay, he's gone the wrong way there as well, maybe? And he gets picked up by Sakiki coming in, spamming one. Jailer will probably be able to get Shiryu, but not Larry. Nope, he actually eats the rotational damage from Sakiki there. Once again, gets the stun. Greatsword 3's out. Rampage to disengage on the Rampage 3. I think he's escaped. I spoke too soon. So, once again, I will repeat that I did say that if Sakiki and Primal Downstate, if the rotational +1s of the blue team are able to create map pressure from their spike damage, then the blue team will take the lead, and that's exactly what's just happened. They've killed off 3 players in very quick succession over a single node, and their speed has enabled them to actually quickly move across the map and get node ownership. So Alta still being owned by the blue team. That's going to keep them in the lead. Red team looking to contest into mid. That's a 2v3 at least. Both Holosmiths looking to disengage. That's Elixir S active use there defensively by Larry, but I don't think he'll be able to sustain this. That is a Scourge and a Revenant. That's high condition damage and burst damage. He would never sustain that. So the blue team actually are in a position now where they can hold the lead. If they keep one player on bleed consistently, and they keep moving to, from node to node, this will most definitely pay off for the blue team overall. And for a minute there, that did look very, very spicy there for the blue team. I didn't think that they were going to do so well. Shiryu is disengaging straight towards the bottom to probably push mid to help out with the contest into Reliable Hospital and Synod. Red team have picked up their close node. That's Jailer doing that work. And, this would be for the Tranquility that's coming up in 6 seconds or 5 seconds now. So at the moment, you do see that it is actually Thief on Thief as a contest. Shiryu is aware of that. Stillness obviously still in play as well. You can see that Larry P is now going to be contesting in towards Flandry perhaps on that. Get Wet and Let, aka Crazy, is currently bleeding out. So obviously the lead is still on the blue team because they have that numbers advantage across the board. Gormless coming in to try and get that res. Landry very, very much so aware of that and immediately finishes him off. Shiryu still looking to get hard pressured by Sakiki here. Cannot damage Sakiki through that pillar, but good use of no teleport. So obviously he moved off that as part of his dodge roll, and that meant that Sakiki and Promenade State could engage on him. Jailer would be smart to be down here by himself in this 2v1, abusing terrain. I think that Shiryu could leave. I don't think he necessarily needs to be here. He could be creating pressure elsewhere. We do have Stillness still in play, obviously, at the top. Fuck. Who's on that? Wait, I could have sworn that... Okay, never mind. It was because he jumped down. So Gormless was up here. Flandry now picking that up. The Scourge Synod has been picked off by the red team here. And now Larry is looking to get that node pickup for red. Now, as long as one person is down here contesting over Tranquility, keeping it effectively neutral and non-contest, then the other 4 players on each team are able to make something happen. Sakiki is obviously the +1 here that's coming to tackle Gormless. This is actually the benefit of the red team, I think, because Sakiki is a hell of a lot of the momentum pressure for blue team. So if Sakiki is here being sustained by Gormless, then he's not creating map pressure. And actually, this in itself has meant that I think the red team is up. Although the blue team did just pick up Stillness, so that's obviously very, very integral for their current point gain. Holy shit. So Maverick is actually picking up the ult in non-contest. Midpoint non-contest. I wonder why Larry decided to come down here. Arguably, having like 3 players answer to Gormless would have been better. Now, Larry's come down and died. Gormless feared away. That was really, really good there by Synod. Will Gormless get this? That's the knockdown again. So again, Gormless goes down to the CC spam. And now that means that blue team do pick up all nodes simultaneously. Unfortunately, Stillness has worn off and there's nobody can test over these nodes. I think Larry would have been better off just staying on Alta, full capping that shit and holding maybe 2 nodes whilst Gormless picked up the 1v3 downstairs. He could have kited away, I think, for a good amount of time. Flandry looking to lose the 1v1 to the Jailer, but obviously the +1 there from Maverick has come in to ensure that Jailer does not contest that node any further. This node does belong to the blue team still, even though it does have red over it. That's because it was previously capped by red. It's a weird visual bug. Jailer's doing a fucking amazing job in this 1v2 that he's experiencing. There's the +1 there from Larry. Let's see if they can get the neutral. I think that Larry will leave after that. Larry using Tornado, so that's Elixir X. Unfortunate not getting the Rampage. Larry really should leave now. It's not beneficial, I don't think, to have the 2v1 here. Unless they're just trying to cap the node in Jailer's favor. Flandry's doing like a pretty fucking good job at sustaining this 1v2 as well. This build is disgusting. Like, I can't believe how ridiculously sustainable it is. I remember in one of the previous MATs, you could see the Soul Beast picking up a 1v4. That was Boyce into a 1v4 that actually won them a game. I guess Flandry has now realized that Mirage is the least competitive when compared to Soul Beast. Crazy XA immediately leaves the game knowing that the game is full well over. Stillness picked up by the blue team, and that's double node ownership by the Blues. They will proceed to the next game. GG, guys. GG. Okay, so this game has just started, and this is the 4 Chronos. This is the one we wanted to watch, right, guys? This is the 4 Chronos and 1 Holo versus, this is... Wait. I thought for a minute there that was Syndrome, but it's not. He's got a character that looks like that on his alt account. All right, let's go through this real quick, okay? So Shen Yuxia, aka Orlando, is playing Axe Axel Warhorn, of course. Again, sustainable duelist, looking for the 1vx. Posey is playing Deadshot Runa Balthazar, obviously on Kaiser Sorry Ping as the teamfight damage Scourge. This is paired with Blackjack, his support. He does have Signet of Mercy, by the way. Fly is playing Revenant, rotational +1. Looking to do as much burst damage as possible. And Syndrome playing what looks to be Core, Sword, Dagger. So now he's moved back over to that since the Swinner's Equilibrium was fixed. Obviously, he prefers that over the Daredevil. Blue team still running their Holo and 4 Chrono. So their Holosmith does have rotational damage. So he has the Rocket Boots with AED. So he's obviously got Gadgeteer. This is the rotational damage build with Static Dis. Oh, he's not running Static Dis. Interesting. I would have expected him to be running Static Discharge instead of Power Wrench. I don't know. I haven't seen this like exact build used in play. But then all 4 Chronos are playing exactly the same thing on the Chaos Inspiration lines with Scepter Shield and Staff and Rune of Radiance and Demolishers. So they have pretty insane damage output. They win most 1v1 matchups. They win most they can win 1vx. And of course, they have a lot of node sustain and pretty decent mobility there as well, obviously on the back of the Blink. So you're going to see a ton of Gravity Wells coming out from these guys. Look at this 3v1. Dude, this is ridiculous. They've got 3 node contest against a very stacked team, in my opinion. This red team is exceptionally stacked. Obviously, they have... I think most of these players are actually ex-ESL as well, so they've got really, really good game knowledge. I think what they really need to do is out-rotate them. They have to create rotational momentum just off the back of Fly and Sind. If they can do that, it's very possible. Bleed them out, never finish them. That's the invulnerability res there coming through. They're attempting it. Posey is getting hard pressured. This might be where the red team will manage to come back from this. So I'm going to focus on Syndrome for a little while and Fly because I want to see how much pressure they actually bring. Right, so we actually have a rotational +1 that's transitioned into a bleed out there for the Chronomancer. So red team will pick up that node. Syndrome is going to rotate back mid. There's a 2... I can't actually tell if it's the fucking Holosmith that's mid or not. Fucking names, dude. I wish I could rename in games. Anyway, so Blackjack is now here with Posey. Syndrome is here as well, so that is really good CC there from Blackjack. He ensured that the Holosmith did not move into the node. Syndrome are getting pressured here as well. I wonder why Blackjack and Posey actually left. I guess they decided they were going to go for their side node split, which does make sense considering they do have the double node ownership there and they don't want to force a massive team fight mid. If they can keep it neutral, that makes sense as well. With Syndrome and they've actually rotated the Soul Beast here, so now Syndrome is going to be looking to have that 1v1. He's going to prevent the Chronomancer from immediately taking the node whilst the Soul Beast comes back to defend it. This is how they're going to do this. This is really good strategy. You can see it's actually in play. It's happening in real time. Now this is even more interesting. You can see that Posey and Fly are within their base already. One player down, bleeding out. Blackjack is here. Are they really going to make us some kind of like early Lord player, or are they just looking to pressure players down into down state so that they know they can bleed them out slowly? I wonder. Syndrome and Shen, aka Soul Beast, looking for that 1v2. That's the Holosmith and the Chronomancer. Chronomancer has been taken out initially, and the Holo will follow. Smart play by the red team. D-Duff, dude, thank you for the host, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so red team did actually lose their 1 node ownership whilst they were pressuring into the blue team's base. That will become 2-node again, I think, if Posey is left unanswered to. So this is the Soul Beast currently contesting into the Holosmith and Chronomancer once more. One of them has just finished bleeding out. He's back in the game right now. Holosmith pushing mid to answer to Syndrino, who's currently 1v1ing into a Chronomancer. This is very strange. So, Blackjack, Fly, and Posey, all around 1-node. Farming them as they come out, I guess. Right? One Chronomancer still contesting into Blackjack. I don't really understand how... maybe you guys know better, but I don't really understand why they're forcing this play outside their base. They do have outnumbered fights happening in the mid, so like this node has remained neutral for the time being. Syndrina's +1 coming in to hard pressure the Chronomancer. Flanking Strike obviously making short work of the shields. And I suppose they can use their Chaos Storms to actually benefit one another. Again, good use of Flanking Strike and Larcenous by Sin to completely dispatch that Chronomancer. They do have the tools at hand to cancel out like their sort of blockables. Because if you imagine how much the Chronomancers are reliant on things like, you know, Shield 4, both the Revenant and the Thief can actually hit through those. One with Phase Traversal, obviously getting unblockable for like 3 seconds or whatever. And the core Thief who's able to use Flanking Strike and Larcenous and hit through that. And steal boons. You know, the boon uptime that's on those Chronomancers is going to be ridiculous, and you know it is. And to be honest, the majority of what I think is actually going to be playing into the Chronomancers is more about how you're going to play into these abilities. Like, Counterspell does an incredible amount of damage, and so does Scepter 3. So, I would be surprised if these guys aren't aware enough to actually not hit through that when they see it cast. But sometimes it can happen accidentally. So Red Team still managing to own their close node. They do have the Soul Boost, who is contesting into the Chronomancer, of course. Doing a great job of it. Has been in multiple numbers disadvantages. And Waterfall still being contested there by Blackjack and Posey. So again, the 3 versus 3 that's taking place here, that's the Holosmith and double Chronomancer that is looking to push them away from that node and get the neutral. I'd be surprised if the Firebrand and the Scourge could be pushed away from this with ease. They're being forced to rotate away. That's 1 tick, isn't it? Holy shit. Dude, the amount of gravity wells that are going down on that node is disgusting. One Chrono has fallen. Looking to get the res. They've actually both dropped the Chaos Storms there to try and interrupt anybody who was trying to stomp. And once again, we're seeing that the meta build does actually prove to win into this cheesy-ass build. Now, this is kind of interesting to see it. And actually, they had to believe, right? They truly had to believe that this was something that could win. I mean, they're not that far behind this team, and this is a really, really high-rated matchup. All these players are very, very high-rated. They're all legendary. But they really had to truly believe that the 4 Chronomancer could genuinely win this MAT. They genuinely thought it was cheesy enough for them to win this. Okay, so blue team were about to actually pick this node up. It's just been reset again by the red team. You still have the same 3-man matchup into these players that are coming out of base. 1 Chrono bleeding, 1 Chrono that's about to come back out as well. So, again, if you're not really aware of this, if you're new to PvP, the reason they bleed players out is, 1, they have like a 30-second timer where they bleed out, right? So if you kill somebody straight away, they're going to get straight into that 15-second timer to come back into the game. If you actually leave them to bleed out, it's like a 45-second timer overall. And it gives you a lot of time to make momentum plays, and that is something that the red team are going to be earning a lot from. So, again, Syndrina and Fly in the middle, looking to contest into the Holosmith and the Chronomancer. They've got to be careful because there is another Chronomancer that is coming in to create this 3v2. Both of them immediately aware of that and disengage to potentially maybe create some pressure around their Firebrand and Scourge. At least Fly has come around to immediately dispatch this Chronomancer and not let him get back into his base. It does actually make a lot of sense as to why they've removed these gates, because it does prevent things like this, where the Chronomancer would have safely got away and Fly would have been still beating on that door. So if the blue team were using this as a method of escape whilst being, under contest, then obviously this does make a lot of sense. Blue team have picked up their mid node. Obviously, Fly and Syndrina had disengaged that, and now you can see the Soul Beast is still in the 1v1 against the Chronomancer. Syndrina will either go mid and probably pick a fight there, or may come in for the +1 here. He's about to be 1v2'd, so he goes, nah, fuck this. He's now pushing to where I expected him to be pushing. So he's going to push for the 2v1 into the Chronomancer. He has both of these players in pursuit. 2v2. Question is, who takes the favor? Syndrome does out-rotate. However, remember the Holosmith does have rocket boots. So he will be able to quickly get back towards mid. Now, is anybody here to contest in this Syndrome? There is. So the blue team do have mid picked up. Fly is now here to pick this up. And here's the unblockable attacks that are going to be doing tons of work into Chronos. There's the invulnerability from the Signet use. Gravity Well, CC, and Chaos Storm down as well from the lesser Chaos Storm there on that Holosmith. Sorry, Chronomancer. They all have the same fucking name. It's so hard. And there's the pickup from the Cinder engagement. There's the Holosmith trying to use Elixir S to guarantee that that safe res. That is now timed out. There's the 3 seconds out. And now we have more Chronomancers in the mid trying to answer to this. So Cinder and Fly picking one player off. The defensive capability has been ripped away from the Holosmith there. He does not have his Elixir S active. Cinder straight up disengaging on Shortbow 5. Net shot missing. He should make away from this. I don't think they'll be able to close pursuit. They don't have any follow-up besides their blink, and once the blink was already used to jump the bridge, he was quite safely out. Blackjack, Posey, and Fly. Once again, this 3v3 taking place. They need one more tick, and they get node ownership. They do not have it. They need blue team to walk off that node once more. Posey could potentially die here, so it's going to be about watching Blackjack. So Posey will be eating a ton of damage. If they eat the Gravity Well, that will force him to fall. Okay, so Posey does go down. Watch Blackjack on the Signet of Mercy. He's already got the precast, and he misses. He must have used it too quickly, and he does miss. So it wasn't actually a case of being interrupted. He just straight up missed the placement. Forced to rotate back towards mid, but Quarry is still owned by the Soul Beast. So Orlando obviously doing hard work in this 1v1 matchup. We can still tell that the Chronomancer is not decent enough to answer this Soul Beast sustainability. That is now currently 2 Chronomancers answering to a single fucking Soul Beast. They missed the Gravity Well. That's 2 Chaos Storms used. Holy shit, forces the disengage. They will get that neutral. He's had to. He's been forced to leave. By the way, one thing to note, Griffin stance here on Shen. Griffin stance instead of Moa stance. So he gets 100% endurance regeneration for dodge rolls, super speed, and it's an evade frame. Interesting. Interesting. So no Moa stance. No extension of plasma. Now, blue team are in a position here where they are coming back slightly. They have managed to get the decap there on Waterfall. They did get the Stomp on the Fly as well. However, pay attention to the time, guys. There is 90 seconds left on this. Posey has fallen. Blackjack does not have Signet of Mercy, of course, not at least for another 5 seconds. And Posey has been finished off. So what the blue team would need right now is all 3 nodes, or actually if they had a couple of nodes and a Lord play. A couple of nodes and a Lord play. That would win the game here. So Waterfall has gone in their favor. Mid node may go in their favor as well. Red team should be aware of a Lord play. I think that is the only thing that could actually throw the game in the blue team's favor to win this. And now Shen wins. Shen has obviously finished off the Chronomancer there. Holosmith still hanging around to contest that 1v1. Blue team are all looking for that. They do not have time. They need the decap on Quarry. They do not have enough pressure to push that Soul Beast away. Blue team have lost. They will not get there in time. The 4 Chronos and 1 Holo build has unfortunately failed to take this win. Congratulations to Syndra and his team on winning this match. That was a 14.5-minute game. God damn. Okay, showing builds now. So Shen once again on the he's on the Soul Beast build with Axe or Warhorn, but we did notice that he is using Griffin stance and Diex stance instead of Moa, so he does not have the extended boon duration. Posey is still playing his Curse of Sorry Ping on Deadshot Balthazar as a Scourge, of course, that's sustained by Blackjack on the Firebrand. Does have Sanctuary, interesting, and Bow of Truth. interesting. With Signet and Mercy, of course, Fly playing the staff sword build for Revenant, rotational +1, and Syndra also on Revenant. We see Sind on Revenant. They're running double rev for high burst potential. Holy shit, this is Pog. Okay, blue team, they have Flandry, who again is also using the sword Warhorn axe build on Sind. Holy fuck, they just shut down Posey. He does get the Signet and Mercy res. Holy shit. Posey's gonna go down once more unless they can peel. They gotta keep Primal off. Blackjack going for the manual res. Does not have Sanctuary to put down this time, and Posey has been eliminated. Syndra is gonna follow. Does get CC'd before he was able to use Infused Light. Holy shit, that's a lot of burst. Okay, again, Sakiki playing the Sword Staff build and rotational +1. Primal downstay on the Sword Dagger Thief. This is Core Thief, looking for the +1 as well. You have Synod on the Scourge here. This is also with Deadshot and Balthazar, and Reliable Hospital, who is Chunzu, who is playing Firebrand support, and this again is with Signet Mercy. So at the moment, the blue team are up. Maverick did manage to go and get that decap, or Primal did manage to go get that decap on the red team close as soon as they won that team fight. Right now, it's all about Shen trying to keep himself alive whilst 3 players persist after him. If he can sustain that, that's obviously very, very good for the red team, but unfortunately, he was caught out. There we go. And now this again is in the favor of the blue team simply because one player is going to be bleeding out for, or at least he won't be back out for another 15 seconds, which does give them pressure across the map. Now, red team need to make the most of their momentum. They have double rev. It's very possible that they can make something happen. Posey getting hard pressured. I'm actually thinking that it's probably pretty bad that they don't have the Thief on Syndra. And the only reason I'm saying that is, one, Syndra doesn't have as much practice on Thief, but at the same time, they're lacking that steal. And the steal is so important onto Chunzu. Now, Chunzu is obviously going to channel Signet and Mercy. Once again, misses the place. Actually, no. I think Sakiki was killed before Chunzu was able to get it off. I don't think he missed it. I think that's what happened. Anyway, that's really good for the red team. They do have the 5v3. This game is not a write-off just yet. However, do pay attention to the fact that Flandry is currently capping mine, and red team are currently getting the decap in mid. So this will once again become a 2-node game. Now, red team, they're looking to consistently full cap the mid, perhaps. As a... What is this? Were they going to do the 4-man, like, mid-strat? All right, so Flandry looking to get picked off by the double rev. That's a ton of pressure onto that Soul Beast. Soul Beast will be using the Endure Pain momentarily on the 3. There it is. And looking to get that disengage on the Sword 2. Still in close pursuit. Flandry is down. Beast picked up by the blue team to create a larger lead. And Flandry going to be back in the game in 15 seconds. Now, one thing that needs to happen is the red team need to work together to create that momentum. And if they can get a blue team wipe, then this will create huge momentum for them throughout. Maverick is off solo, getting the decap in mid once more. So the rotation there of the Thief is coming in huge for the blue team. They are getting these node shutdowns across. Like every single time the red team seem to make something happen, Maverick is countering that. And somehow, the blue team are sustaining the pressure from the double rev. I'm actually so surprised by this. I would almost encourage Syndra to go log on to his fucking Thief. He can swap. So right now we do see that Shen has just full capped the mid, and he's going to go back to his home node to contest that. With that pressure that they've applied, they have now backed off towards mid to obviously resustain that, or to at least maintain that whilst the blue team chase. Syndra could die here alongside Fly, and that will just completely hand the game over to blue once more. Sin trying to pull them away back towards their node, which means that they get more time to push towards red and possibly defend. We're not riding this game off yet, guys. I'm actually genuinely surprised. I think it'd be better with a Thief. Sooner rather than later. Okay, so we see that Shen is pushing in towards the blue team close. Obviously, this is their far node, looking to have that 1v1 against Flandry. Now, what they need is a rotation +1, possibly from Fly or Syndra, to throw that in the favor of the red team, obviously. Blue team have won the majority of the team fights thus far, and that's probably making the red team a little bit nervous. Posey getting hard pressured. Fly and Syndona going straight onto... was that Primal they were focusing on? I think they got the passive directly out of the Thief. And now the blue team are looking to disengage towards their mid node. Now, Shen has since joined that team fight. Oh, sorry, not Shen. Wait, fuck. Who was capping? Fuck, I can't even remember who was capping. Okay, so Fly is actually down. Posey's down. Blue team going to be taking this. Never mind. Seeing no mercy onto the Scourge. So they get to reset the team fight damage. Posey's just being, like, pursued by Maverick. Again, not even staying near Blackjack to provide Corrupt. This is really bad. This is really, really bad for the red team. No neutral on the far node either, so they have the Revenant now and the Soul Beast looking to get that neutral, pushing Flandry away from the node. Skiki's here to rebalance that fight. Sind using the Infused Light, getting healed a little bit. Gets interrupted on the Herald Elite. And now Sin will probably follow because he doesn't have any more sustain. Yep. And he's out. And a second beast skill picked up by the blue team. Blue team doing that really smart as well. Obviously, they knew that where the remainder of the red team were positioned, and they knew that nobody was going to be taking that beast from them. There was no steal potential there. Okay, so blue team actually looking to get a triple cap, I think. They'll get Shen away from this map, and yeah, it's a triple cap. And they're going to go for yet another beast play. Again, something they can do is on their side of the map. They have nobody on red team near them. And it looks to me like red team have actually just given up. They are not playing this. Unfortunate. I will go to the other game afterwards, guys. Okay. Right, so we on the red team have Pena Mashiro, who is playing Core Sword Dagger Thief. We have Aeon, who is on Firebrand. No Signet of Mercy. I've said to Aeon before that I really thought Signet of Mercy was important, but Aeon does know Firebrand better than me, so I'm just trusting on that. Balezed playing the Sword Staff rotational +1 on Rev. Sari on the also using Griffin stance with Dolyak on the Soul Beast as a duelist, and then you have Mystesia, who is on this is like Carrion Amulet. Yeah, Carrion Amulet with Axe Torch and Scepter Pistol, so looking to be doing high power damage as well as a ton of condition damage on the Axe Torch set. This is on Dueling Illusions as well, so it does not have the Chaos line for sustain and boons. Blue team, they have Chunzu, who is their Firebrand support with Signet of Mercy. They have their Scourge Synod, who is using Deadshot with Balthazar on Curse of Sorry Ping again. You have Primal Downstate, who is on Sword Dagger Thief. This is Core. Skiki on the Sword Staff build. Again, rotational +1. And then finally, Flandry, who is also on the Griffin stance, Dolyak. Soul Beast meta build 1vx. So at the moment, I'm going to say that the blue team are looking more likely to win this based on their comp. They don't have a Mirage. Mirage typically doesn't really win most like Bruiser 1v1s in high rated play. It does do like a pretty good amount of damage, but if you put this into a Soul Beast matchup, for example, Mysteria won't win. That's why Flandry doesn't play Mirage into Soul Beast anymore. It's more so in the favor of the Soul Beast than anything. But they do have the node coverage. They have the rotational speed of the Revenant and the Thief, but the blue team just have that extra element with the usage of the Soul Beast over the Mirage. And obviously they have the Thief pairing. Dude, Steady, thank you very much, man. Thank you for the 12 months, 1 year, baby. Thank you. Okay, so Payne just disengaged that team fight, looking to come in for the +1 onto Flandry. Obviously does not have much health by himself. Does actually land the steal on Flandry. There's still a visual tooltip bug, so I can't see the F2. That's now becoming a 3v1 into Flandry. And Red Team have actually lost their Firebrand and their Revenant, so they've looked for a quick lead somewhere on Flandry, and unfortunately Flandry was able to sustain that. Pain comes out for the disengage, but now has the Thief and the Revenant chasing after him. He goes down as well, and Asari's going to be forced to use terrain here and disengage, but will probably die to this pressure from 3 players. There's the jump, gets Jade wins on the jump. Baits the pad, nice. Nice. That's a really good method of actually forcing your own sustain. Does eventually die whilst jumping back down. Probably should have just stayed on the no pause spot there, but still, that was a nice little strategic thing there. So at the moment, you still see the Firebrand and Firebrand contesting one another, both neutral. Node is not going to any team in particular. Obviously, Flandry's node is still sustained by Flandry. Now, Flandry has moved towards the Skyhammer to ensure ownership of that and no neutral node pickup for the Red Team. Red Team do have their Soul Beast going to their close node, so again, this will eventually result in a double node ownership. However, Skyhammer is obviously being picked up right now, so we'll see Salad Sari still maintain ownership of that node and continue to cap it whilst dodging the laser. Okay. And that you can. That's a thing not many people know you can do. You can continue to cap it whilst the laser's coming back down. As long as you dodge roll it, you don't take any damage. But it will not neutralize the node if the node is already neutral and it's being capped. So the cap will continue to persist whilst the laser is going off. It's not going to neutralize what you've already capped. Okay. So at the moment, Red Team do have their close node. Aeon looking to be dying in mid, possibly to the spike damage there coming out of Tsukiki. That's a 4 versus 4 in mid, but obviously a couple of players underneath. They get a spike onto Tsukiki. Tsukiki does not have infused light, so any sustainability is going to come out for Reliable Hospital. There is the Signet Mercy being cast there by the Firebrand, and Tsukiki is reset. Now, Red Team are going to lose somebody momentarily. There's Mysteria going down. There's no Signet Mercy on Aeon, and this is where the failure comes from. I kept saying, like, you got to have an opportunity to reset the team fight because you're going to be handing that to the blue team every single time. Maverick currently rotating towards Red Team close to get that neutral. So once again, Thief coming into play and getting that reset. Neutral across the board with 1 node ownership for the blue team. Sari in a 1v2, Skiki and Flandry. Gets knocked away from the pad. Lightning reflexes. And I think that was bird consumption F1. Or I should say bird merge. Now, Chunzu can sit on this node and 1v1 Aeon for as long as possible. It's always going to remain in the favor of the Firebrand, pretty much, that already owns it. Belzed picked up. I'll see you later, Amy. I'm a time traveler from 2054. I'm here to tell you that in my time, MAT are still best of 1 single elimination on random map. Bye. I mean, they're not going to make them best of 3 for a while until Swiss comes in. So Aeon likes to run stand your ground to help like teammates, basically. But I think when you take that, obviously, then you don't have Signet. And unfortunately, it's all about resetting the team fight entirely. Hello, Jawgeous. Hello, hello. If anybody, I'll hang around after the end of the MAT, by the way. If anybody does have any PvP-related questions they want to ask before I finish the stream. So if you are new to PvP and this is your first instance of watching it or not really understanding what the monthly community tournament, the monthly automated tournament is about, feel free to stick around and I will do my best to answer those. I'll do about like sort of 20 minutes at the end. A winner's interview? I can't help but feel like it's going to be toxic. So I'm going to avoid that because last time I did one, it was toxic and it related to pretty much nothing. So no AT stream. This is the AT stream. We're doing the monthly automated tournament. At the moment, the blue team are obviously still ahead. They have maintained that lead since the beginning. Well, since the first 2 minutes. Red team have had approximately 3 kills in the last 4 minutes. Possibly 5 kills overall. Get a PMA player. I don't know any PMA players in that team comp that would possibly be PMA on stream. There's no Ellie in this whole MAT. Does that mean that Ellie needs insane buffs? Yes, I agree. Ellie is just an evade bot. It needs less evades and more damage. Remove the sustainability element of it and just give it more pressure capabilities. Synded can be PMA? I'll think about it. Get a Synd. Dude, Synd lost. Synd is already out. I think we can already see how this game is going to go. I could continue to cast this, but at this point, the blue team is so far ahead in their momentum, they're farming them. They're farming them literally 4-on-1. No Druids in the final. I think Druid sustainability could probably be improved a little bit. No Scrappers in MET. Does this mean that Scrapper needs insane buffs? Not insane buffs, but again, Scrapper doesn't compete with Holo. Not really. Long time no see. What's up, Eggy? Hello, hello. Hope you're well, dude. This is the final. The previous game, the one that we just watched, that was like where Syndra lost, was the semi-final. Good to know, dude. I'm glad you're well. Double node pick up for red though. Can we write this off or not? Or just a blue team just not really over committing to anything? Pain almost getting that decap in mid. Pain running with Torment as well. Didn't have any method of clear. And there's 1v1 contest. Mystelia into Thief. I mean, so the blue team to win only need one node, right? Flandry about to pick up Skyhammer. There's the double neutral happening right now. So again, they've just kind of like lost all chance of coming back, really. And that was distortion usage. Mirage is in the MAT, nerf it to hell. It's not doing well, though. It doesn't win, like, 1v1. I mean, Mirage will be fine, I think, when you actually bring down the duelists or the bruisers of, like, the remainder of the meta. So, like, Soul Beast, for example, needs to be brought down. It's just way too sustainable, as we've witnessed multiple times, in this AT alone. And I do think that if that does happen, then Mirage will be more relevant because it will be able to contest into the likes of a Soul Beast. But at the moment, Soul Beast just kind of trumps everything. You know? You're literally high if you think Mirage has a single losing 1v1 matchup. It does lose into Soul Beast. GG. Okay, so congratulations to Flandry's team there. They have taken the final. They've got the burning swords, and we can see it right there, actually. That's exactly what it looks like. If you guys want to line up outside the statues, I'll be happy to show you off if you wish. That's up to you guys, though. Did I ditch the Jizz overlay? No, that still exists. Okay, so Flandry's there at least with their burning swords. You can see that Kiki's there as well. Okay, oh, dude, they just spawned in. Okay, cool. Let me take a quick screenshot real quick for the thumbnail, Pog. Print screen. There you go. Easy clap. Right. So, congratulations, you dudes. Thank you for allowing us to enjoy the matches, and I hope that next month we see some more people that are going to contest into you guys. Hopefully, we'll see Tayskin and Boyce and that lot back. I know there was a lot of people that didn't play this month because they couldn't for exams and things like that, so we didn't see everybody that would be contesting. So, yeah. Congratulations, guys. G fucking G. Thank you, thank you.